Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today we have also a lesson on a more theory, like a kind of a looking for a kind of systematic approach to all different kinds of cultures and to music just in general. To be able also to see more like how different cultures are dealing actually with the same concepts or tonal material or tonality or whatever. And we will talk about the different ways we can actually arrange notes in a scale. And we have if we take like a normal scale, which normal means like almost normal to all cultures. If we have like a 7-note scale, then we can say, okay, we have 7 notes and we have like 119 different structures, which go from 2-note structures until 6-note structures. And that kind of organization of all these possibilities we can have in one scale, that's what's the lesson about today. And there's a PDF, just go down in the description below, there you find a PDF, these 2 pages, I have them also in front of me where you have that all written out, and I will just go through these pages with you and give you little explanations. So it would be great if you download that for yourself as a reference, but also, of course, it supports this channel, so it would be really cool. Thank you. When we talked about this kind of a general theory, a general idea thing, that we take a tonal system, which is like the complete set of all the different notes, we compared them to different colors. I put this link down in the description below to that lesson that you can also watch that if you didn't do that already. So we compared all these different possible pitches, so 12 actually in European classical music, in Western harmony, Western music. And there are like 24 out of 53 in the Turkish makam music, and then you have like maybe 22 kind of notes together with the shrutis in Indian classical music. That's like the completeness of notes. That's all there are, and we said it's like a sculpture. You have like just a rock and like a cube kind of thing, and then you sculpture that to make it something, look like a face or whatever. And so you take away stuff. So that's actually the idea, taking the whole complete set of all possibilities, the tonal material, and condense a kind of or extract a kind of or have a choice to choose actually like notes which are like relevant for either the whole composition or just a short period or just one chord, whatever, to make a choice. And that basically that choice can always be traced back to a scale. So if you have a chord, if you have a note, whatever you have in the music, whatever is sounding, you can trace back, that's coming from a scale. Which scale? Let's find out. Okay, so a scale is a very important thing in organizing music. Like ragas are organized in tats, for example. That's one concept of organizing that. We have these church modes, and we think a lot about scales, especially in more modal forms of music, also in Gregorian chant, and wherever, I mean everywhere, like Western classical music, there's melodic minor, upwards, downwards versions, or the tetra and pentachords forming complete octaves in the Turkish makam music. So scales are just relevant for everybody. Okay, so now we can approach that from the other side also. We, instead of just having something like a chord or an interval or just a musical passage, and think about, okay, what kind of a scale does that belonging to? We can switch around perspectives and say, okay, now we take a whole scale, 7 notes, and we look, what can we do with that? How can we organize these 7 notes? And this is actually explained here, or these are the different ways of grouping notes together. We can group 2 notes, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes together, and that's a kind of a organization. What we do with these groups is another story. But first, the idea is to that we have like all these possibilities to take notes out of a scale and making a melodic fragment out of that, making that a tetra or pentachord, making that just a melody note or an interval. Yeah, I mean you can make a lot of stuff out of a scale, not just a melody or not just a chord. It can be any. There's like this organization here with these 119 structures. This is like all possibilities, and having that structure and knowing that can lead us to other. To explore a scale, for example, to really explore. We are busy, for example, with 4-note arpeggios. Or 4-note chords. We talked about that. We have like 43 different possible 4-note structures. That was like this. I think 10 lessons was just on that topic, and we analyzed them all, and we all played them on the instrument. So that's something what's there here on Guitar Academia, and the same for 3-note structures. We have 19 3-note structures, 19 possibilities of 3 different notes. And when we are busy with that, when we practice that and we like these sounds and we go into that thing for a while or longer or shorter, we can just analyze a scale for what kind of 3-part structures or 4-part structures are possible in one scale. What can I find there? And then these 2 pages, this is a structure how you can just in a very systematic way find all the possibilities, and that you can take as a basis for further explorations. Yeah, so I give you a sort of a structure, like a system, which really helps in a lot of helping you in a lot of different ways of exploration. Now let's go through the different through these different blocks, you can say. So the first is you just have 7 notes. You can use 7 single notes. So that's maybe sometimes the question arises, okay, you have something and there's 1 note in the melody or 1 pitch, and you ask yourself, okay, what is the scale this pitch belongs, for example. Yeah, especially if you have like maybe a piece in C major, or like modal Ionian, all the time the notes of C major, and suddenly this F sharp is showing up, and then you ask yourself, oh, that's a not Ionian. What can it be? Yeah? So you ask that kind of a question concerning actually 1 note, but then you look around and then of course then you look for the scale, then you go and search, but you are considering that 1 note actually. Okay, next, so we have actually 7 single notes. Yeah, that's one way of looking at the scale. 7 individual pitches. Okay, then we also have 21 different diads, and diads is like intervals, like two notes. Like triads are three notes together. Diads are two notes together. And you have 21, and you can group them into 7 seconds, major or minor, or augmented, whatever. 7 thirds. So from every scale degree, you can build a third. And 7 fourths from every scale degree. Everything else is just an inversion. So like a seventh, a sixth, or fifths. Those are just inversions of these three families of diads. Seconds, thirds, fourths. Yeah? So you have 21 different diads in a 7-note scale, heptatonic. Then you have 35 different triads, or triads is a bit misleading. I say like 3-note structures or tritonic to that, so a bit avoiding this word triad, because triad is very much associated with the traditional triads, where they are actually only like 4 and maybe some like little 2 more like alterations, or 3 more like sus, double diminished, hard diminished. Maybe they're just like it's more like a traditional term actually, this triad. You can also say like there are triads and there are like free triads. So free triads means like anything what is not a traditional triad but 3 notes together. And all these, by the way, all these forms here, of course, they are not only like for vertical arrangements. They are just a group of notes which you can use any way you want, any way you can sync up. Also in all different kinds of octaves and whatever. It can form a melody, a chord, or whatever. These 35 different 3-note structures you also can group into different families. There are 5 families. You can group them into just traditional triads, means stacking up seconds. Then you can, so you have 7 forms. From every note you can stack up to thirds. I mean, did I say seconds? No. You stack up thirds. And that forms a triad, of course, and that you can do on every scale degree. So you have 7 triads stacked up thirds. Then you can stack up seconds, which is like a kind of like a cluster thing. It's just an excerpt of a scale. So tritonic, for example, for that would be really relevant to say that's a tritonic. It's like a pentatonic, heptatonic, and tetrachord and tritonic or hexatonic. These terminology you can apply there very, very good. Because it's scale wise, 2 seconds. And then you have like 3-part fourths. That means instead of stacking up thirds, you stack up fourths. Then you have these both combinations, second plus third and third plus second. Yeah, so these are your five different groups or 5 different families of 3-note structures. Yeah, so you have 35 possibilities of 3 different notes of a 7-note scale, and these 35 possibilities you can group into 5 families. And all these 5 families are also like these the different parts of each family, like all the triads, for example. They also share some like very common features, of course. All right, then you have the same like 35 different 4-note structures. And remember, 4-note and 3-note structures, why the same? Because like you can say they are like complementary. It's like you have 7 notes, and when you take a 3-note structure, when you take 3 notes out, you you're left with 4 notes, and that's a 4-note structure. So always like they, in a way, you can say like a 7-note structure or 7-note heptatonic is a 4 plus a 3-note structure. You always find a complementary form. Okay, and these 4-note structures, they are grouped in like 7th chords, stacking up thirds again. Yeah, 3 thirds make up a 7th chord. Another group is like 4-part 4s, so stacking up fourths, what we did with 3-note structures, but 1/4 more. Then we also have like these tetratonics or tetrachords. Tetrachords would be a good word for that. Tetrachords means like 4 notes in a scale, like seconds. Yeah, we just go scale wise, and we stack up seconds, you can say. And then we have also I had actually this idea was introduced by Mick Goodrick. This idea of triads, bass note 1, triad bass note 2. I call it a little bit differently, but it's the same idea. You just have like a triad on every scale degree, so 7 triads. And one family would be to add the diatonic, so the second which is in that scale, to add to the triad. So you have a triad with an added second. And the next family would be to add the 4th degree to that. So in both cases, you add an extra note inside one of the third distances of the triad. So your triad might be CEG. So CE is a third, and EG is also a third, and you can either insert a second between C and E, so a D, the second degree is inserted, or you insert a second in between the E and G, so an F. Yeah? And these are the both possibilities. These are the both families here. So these are also like five families, which of course are very much also related to the 5 different families of the 3-note structures. Anyway, then you have 21 5-note structures. Yeah, remember we had also 21 diads or like intervals, 2 different notes, 5 and 2. It's also complementary. So every 2-note structure equals also a complementary 5-note structure. And 5-note structures are also considered as pentatonics or pentatonic scales. Yeah, they're already like scales, you can say. That's a pentatonic scale. So they are actually like pieces or like cultures in Korean music, also in Indian music, in Chinese music, in Japanese music. You really have, or African music, you really have like only 5 notes for the whole thing. And it's a bit, you can ask yourself, yeah, so no, actually, what I want to say is still, when you have 5 notes, you can still think about what kind of most natural 7-note scale this pentatonic is extracted. Yeah, or from what normal or more natural to that scale heptatonic scale, this pentatonic is these 5 notes are chosen. Yeah, you can do that, because sometimes actually also in a like you say, it's like completely like a pentatonic tune. Sometimes you also might use another note, like a passing tone here and there, and then this hints actually to the concept, or there are maybe more notes here. It's just my main choice is a pentatonic. But anyway, it's of course you can also say it's just pure like a pentatonic piece. Yeah, then you could actually do the same what I did here for a 7-note scale. You could do for a pentatonic scale. It's also, and I did that also actually in another lesson when we talked about the pentatonic scales. There are 66 different possibilities of 5 different notes, and yeah, so there will be also a lesson on that. Okay, and these 5-note structures, they're also grouped into like pentachords. So just scale-wise stacking up seconds. Yeah, so 4 stacked up seconds make a pentachord. And then you have like 7th chords, which is, I mean, 7th chords with a 9 is one family, or 7th chords with a 11. That's the other family, or 4th. I should say 4th. 7th chords with 2nd or 9th. And of course, to think we add a 9th on a 2nd chord, on a 7th chord, we have like 4 stacked up thirds. Yeah, we take a note and stack up thirds. So we could also say, okay, if we have a 7th chord and we stack up another third on it, then we have a 9th. But we can also say we have a 7th chord and we stack, we have another 6th. So we go down from the root a third. Then it's actually the same structure. It's just we consider a different. No, we don't consider a different root. We have the same. We think the same root. In this case, yes. Whatever. I mean, of course, you can think of like roots or what is actually now the root of that one structure. That's a different story actually, and we talk also about that, about like gravitational forces in which happen also considering the harmonic series. So a major third will really, or perfect 4th or 5th, will kind of create already like tonality very quick and easy. But that's also a different story. Just for now, you have these 3 different groups of 5 different notes of a 7-note scale. So 21 pentatonic scales. And yeah, and the last is just like you have 7 possibilities of a hexatonic of 6 tones, which is also complementary, of course, to single notes. So if you have a C major scale and you put out the C, then you end up with a complete 6-note structure. Yeah, it's like complementary. Just take one note away from the scale, and then you have the 6-note scale, or the 6-note structure. So you have like 7 possibilities. All right, I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you understood what the lesson was about. I mean, you understood what we talked about. Maybe it's not yet completely clear why doing that. I find it very a very great like systematic approach to scales, which really like. I mean, I used a lot of that stuff here quite a lot. For example, when I was busy with 4-note structures, I asked myself, okay, this 4-note structure, in which scales is this implied? For example, that's one kind of a question, and then I can like go very systematic in a very systematic way. I can say, okay, I write out all the different 4-note structures of melodic minor, of harmonic minor, melodic major. major, melodic minor, harmonic major, symmetrical, augmented, and so on. And we did this all in the 4-note structures lesson, actually. So you have a kind of a reference, and you see, and then and then I analyzed it, and now you have actually this chart where you can see, okay, this structure I can find in that scale on that degree, and in that scale on that degree. In that scale this is not happening, and maybe on that scale it's actually happening twice. It's this kind of a thing. So you can really in a way have this great like structure of like tonal material, and very quick you know where to look for, or how you can approach that, or how you can find out all the possibilities to maybe looking for one particular or whatever. I mean, it leads in a lot of directions, and it might be not really your thinking or your approach, but yeah, then whatever. I mean, I think it's really helpful, and I think for a lot of people, hopefully, I hope that it was really helpful for you too to see this kind of a system, and maybe you now know better how to approach certain things. And it's really like also exploring here, about exploring. You can really go into a lot of directions just by picking a scale, and then for example, try in a melodic way all these different structures, yeah, as arpeggios, or like as intervals, and listen for their sounds. These pentatonics are, for example, very relevant in Indian classical music, where you very often have a 7-note scale, but you go very often in a pentatonic way up. So you skip 2 notes and go like in a heptatonic with all 7 notes way down, descending. So up would be like a kind of a pentatonic, and that's really related also to this page. You see, okay, 7 notes, and this pentatonic you use for the upward motion. So everything what will happen in any 7-note scale you have here. Yeah, you can of course like change the scale, and then all these structures change too, but you have a very systematic way to approach that. All right, so that's it for that lesson. Really, I hope it was helpful. It gave you some insight, some new ideas, and new ideas new inspiration for exploring. And if you like those lessons here on Guitar Academia, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell button. Then you get notifications if a new video will be released. And this is the case every week. And also you can go down in the description below. There's a link on my website, hoophildenbrand.com, Guitar Academia page there. There's a button where you can donate. So this would be really cool to support my channel, to support the whole effort and work and time here. And also there will be much more, or not much, maybe we also, I see already some kind of horizon coming, but there's still like a lot of topics to cover, and they want to go out into the world to share with you. And yeah, so I hope you have fun, you stay tuned. Thanks for watching. My name is Hoop Hildenbrand.